there folks, welcome back to the Chap's Guide. My name is Ash and I am your host on this journey through men's style, self-development and personal grooming. Now today on this glorious, bright and sunny autumn day, I thought I would share with you an update, a 5-year update on an item of my wardrobe which I consider to be absolutely essential. And that is my pairs of dress Brogue boots, because like most men in the winter months, the footwear which I reach for is typically boots, because they offer more protection, more safety, for all of the elements which wait in store for us during the winter months, the dangers of slippery pavements and wet floors and things like that. And boots tends to be where most of us chaps choose to go for our footwear of choice during the winter. So 5 years ago, I was looking for a nice pair of boots, something stylish, something a little elegant, but still going to offer me the protection that I was looking for. And I chose, as you can see on the desk, joining me today, my two guest stars, two pairs of boots from the British company Loake, and these are the Loake Burford model boots. Now just a little back history about Loake, because it depends where you live in the world, you may not be familiar with them. Loake is a fairly large volume footwear producer from here in the United Kingdom. They're a heritage company founded in 1880, and to this day they remain in family ownership, cranking out shoes and boots of all kinds up there in Northamptonshire in England. They also have factories in India, but the boots which I'm talking about today come from the Loake 1880 collection, which were all made in the UK. Now if you're going to buy a pair of boots from Loake, or shoes for that matter, and you are conscious of whether you're buying from the UK or from another country, just check them out, because some of them are not made in the UK. The 1880 range, all made in the UK by British craftspeople, so that might be the route that you choose to take. Now I went for the Burford collection because I was looking for a boot which was not only stylish and elegant, but also rugged enough to fulfill my lifestyle requirements. Because as you can probably tell, I live in a kind of rural environment where, for half the year it's wet, it's damp. I'm often walking down, muddy gravel paths in the village. But also, the following day, I might find myself in the middle of central London, and I want a boot which can straddle both sides of the sartorial sort of landscape. I want something which is at home in the country and at home in the city. And for me, the Loake Burford absolutely fulfilled that requirement. Now, when I purchased my Loake boots, and I should say they are still available in the Loake catalogue today, but 5 years ago, when I bought my boots, they were more largely available, in fact, because today they're only available in the tan colour and also only available with the day-night or rubber sole. But when I bought mine, they were a much larger presence of Burfords in the collection. They were burgundy in colour, as you can see, tan, but also black in calf leather as well. And they were also available with either a leather sole, I've got a leather sole here, in my tan, and I've also got the day-night sole, the other option, in my burgundy boots. So you had quite a bit of choice back then. Now, why was I attracted to the Burford model? Well, for a couple of obvious reasons. Firstly, aesthetics. It's the appearance. They are very clearly a full wingtip brogue. They're a derby style boot, so the lacing system is on two flaps, opposed to being integral into the boot. So they're a little bit less formal, but they are certainly a country style boot. So the aesthetic attracted me, with that lovely broguing throughout the boot, giving it visual interest. I also like the fact that they were available in a couple of colours, and for me, burgundy is often my shoe colour of choice because of its versatility when it comes to wearing one's clothes. So I was absolutely delighted when I saw that these were in the collection. They seemed to fit my bill. Now, the boot itself is on the Loake 024 last. So the shape of the foot itself, 024 last, which means it's a slightly rounded toe, and also it's quite a roomy fit. So they make these boots in their country collection in the knowledge that you're most likely going to wear them in the winter or outdoors. So they will make the not unreasonable assumption that you're going to wear thicker socks. So they make the shoe a little roomier. Now, it doesn't make the shoe feel particularly large or clumpy. Not that, it doesn't make that much difference, but it's nice to know it's been a consideration at the point of design. So very, very beneficial if you're involved in country pursuits, or you wear them in the winter, like I do, when, it's a little cooler and I want to wear a thicker, more insulating sock. Now, let me tell you about how I bought these. Now, when I realised I wanted the Burfords, I looked around everywhere because I'm a man who does not believe in paying full price for footwear if I can at all help it. And famously, for me anyway, this pair of Loake Burfords with a day-night sole in the burgundy colour, burgundy calf leather, was the last pair of shoes I paid full price for when I bought them, because everywhere I looked, I could not find them at a discounted price or cheaper than their full retail price. So I bought these from the Loake website directly, and they cost £250 British 5 years ago. And that's as they came, as they were. Shortly after, right, I realised I'd fallen in love with them. I thought these were very practical, very versatile. I was wearing them every day. I thought if I can, I'd like to get a pair in another colour, but being a tightwad, I didn't want to pay full price. So on eBay, eventually, I tracked down this pair. Now, this is a pair of the same boot, the Loake Burford, but in a tan colour and also with a leather sole. I paid £90 for these from eBay, and they were as new. It looked as if somebody bought them, never worn them, and sold them on. I was delighted. What an absolute bargain. I was elated to have got something for £90 when not long before I'd paid £250 from the retailer. Just goes to show, right? If you really want to play the long game, you can definitely get some bargains. So that's how they came into my collection. Very happy indeed. Today, the Loake Burford is still available on the Loake website in the tan colour with a day-night sole, and they cost £290. So they have gone up in price considerably over the last 5 years, but not an unreasonable amount. And I still think that at £290 for the quality that you get, you actually get a very good deal for your price. It's a very approachable price indeed. So how have I looked after the boots whilst they've been with me for these last 5 years? Well, I've just introduced them to my normal shoe care regime. And for me, that means every single time I wear them, after I've worn them, I put a shoe tree within them. Both of these boots have got shoe trees in them now. Don't worry about getting boot shoe trees. I often get questions about that. It's not worth going to the added expense, right? All you want is simple shoe trees made of wood, which slip into the shoe. They make sure the shoe retains, or boot retains, its shape and its integrity, at the same time as allowing, the sweat or the perspiration from your foot, which is naturally transferred to the leather inside the shoe or boot, to dissipate, and that shoe tree helps with that process. So always, if the shoe is not on your foot, it should have a shoe tree within it. Now, externally, looking after the appearance, after the shoe tree, the next most important thing to do to keep your shoes looking good is to maintain them, all right? And for me, that involves regular applications of some form of shoe reconditioning or conditioning cream. I use the brand Saphir for all of my shoe care needs, and Saphir Renovator is an excellent renovation cream. It's a conditioning cream. If applied regularly, it imparts waxes and oils to the leather, which keeps it supple, keeps it nourished, keeps it protected. Now, in addition to occasional applications of the conditioning cream, more regularly I apply a shoe cream. Now, shoe cream has got colour pigmentation within it. It does some of the same things that a conditioning cream does, but more importantly, it imparts the colour back into the shoe, keeps the shoe colour looking fresh and vibrant. And if you've got something like a burgundy, you want to keep it looking burgundy. So I use I use a burgundy coloured Saphir. It's called Pomadia shoe cream, and it does a really good job. I apply that maybe once a fortnight, once a month, depending on the weather conditions, depending on the sort of the hard life that my shoes or boots get. Now, in addition to the shoe cream, I also use a wax polish. A hard wax polish adds that extra little shell over your shoes or boots, which protects it from the elements. It helps the rain get, beaten away, and also keeps the shoe looking shiny and lustrous. And I apply a wax polish on a weekly basis to my boots when I'm wearing them in the winter. Keeps them protected, keeps them looking their best. And occasionally, as you can see, my burgundy boots have had the treatment. I bring the boots up to a mirror shine. So I get the toe caps looking extra shiny just to get those compliments and to boost my confidence when I'm wearing this footwear. Now, how have I worn them? And under what circumstances in my life do I press these into service? Well, actually, they are incredibly versatile because the brogue, the leather, the colour, it all means it can be worn across such a wide variety of one's sartorial requirements. So for instance, if I'm wearing jeans or maybe chinos or quite casual trousers, these boots go perfectly. Because they're boots and they've got that sort of full wingtip broguing to them, it reduces the formality level, which means they definitely fall into the zone of being able to be worn quite casually. If you want to step up the level of formality, so say for instance I'm going to wear them with grey flannel slacks, maybe a blazer as well. Both of these boots go perfectly. They cross that boundary, they straddle the line between formal and casual perfectly. That's one of the reasons why I really love brogue dress boots. The broguing, the colour, it all just marries up so beautifully with the sartorial levels of styling. And one of the advantages of that is that it means you have to carry less stuff around you. I'll give you an example. About 3 or 4 years ago, in fact, these boots weren't long with me at that time. I had to go to a conference in America, in Rhode Island, in fact, and I wanted to travel incredibly light. I only wanted to take hand luggage onto the aeroplane. It was only a couple of days conference. I didn't want to check in a bag. I wanted to get out there, do the conference, have a bit of fun, and come back. Didn't want to carry any superfluous luggage at all. And I thought to myself, when I had to give a presentation at the conference, I thought I'm going to wear a blazer, I'm going to wear grey flannel slacks, but also when I'm not at the conference, I'm going to dress quite casually. After all, I'm in America. It's not necessarily the most sartorial place in the world, so I want to be able to wear chinos and a jumper and maybe a Barber jacket, so I can be casual when I'm off duty, so to speak. And I wanted a shoe or boot which could meet both my criteria. And I chose my Brogue Burfords in the burgundy colour, and they were absolutely superb because when I wore them with my grey flannel slacks at the conference when I was presenting, it was a perfect marriage. But when I was casual, off duty, tramping the streets of Newport and the other places in Rhode Island, they also looked perfectly. They work perfectly for me. So it was an excellent marriage of the formal and the informal. And in fact, on one occasion, I vividly remember travelling down in the elevator from the hotel, from my room to the ground floor. I was in the elevator with an American gentleman, and he actually complimented me. He said, "I love your boots, sir. Great shine." And I had a mirror shine on them as I did today. And I thought, great, a compliment grabber. That's what you need. You know that your footwear is turning heads when people go to the extent of passing a compliment. So I've absolutely been delighted with these. I wore my these burgundy ones in London just 2 weeks ago. I walked over 20 miles over the course of 2 days on a family weekend in London, and no trouble at all. No blisters, no hot spots, just stylish comfort for the whole time. So they've absolutely worked out a treat. And the comfort, again, with these boots, that nice extra roomy shoebox, the last, means that they're just so versatile in the collection. So, in conclusion, what are my observations? Well, I can only gush accordingly at a pair of boots, 2 pairs now, that I have owned over the last 5 years, who have provided me with unrivaled wear. When I look at the underside of my Loake Burfords here with the day-night sew, it is true, the sole is wearing down. And I would envisage maybe in 12 to 24 months, or 2 more seasons, I am going to have these resoled. And I'm going to have the same sole again, a day-night, and that will mean they have probably lasted between 6 or 7 years of pretty consistent daily wear in my collection. Now that is not bad at all, I think. And when I do have the soles replaced, I just need to send them back to Loake. They have a factory refurbishment program which will bring them back to me almost as new. Now my leather soled boots here, when this sole wears out, I will have a choice because the Burford was available in both leather and day-night. I can stipulate whether I want leather or day-night replacement soles, and I will go for day-night because whilst leather soles are a little more sleek, perhaps a little more formal, I think the day-night provides a more versatile sole if you want traction in the wet and so on, and that's when I tend to wear my boots, so I will go for the day-night next time round. I think it costs about £120 for a factory refurbishment, but in essence you get a brand new pair of boots back from the factory and you're good to go for another 7 years of daily wear. Who can argue with that? I say not. So for the price point, I think these represent a great purchase, still in the collection. I imagine they will be for some time. Hopefully Loake will reintroduce more colours as time goes on, because I'm sure they're incredibly popular. Must be one of the more popular boots in the Loake collection, and for that price point, under £300, I think you get a hell of a product, actually, which will last year after year of head-turning, compliment-grabbing, comfortable footwear, which you can wear in many situations. So there we go. I hope you have enjoyed today's video on my 5-year review of the Loake Full Brogue Burford dress boot. It's been a winner, and I've enjoyed wearing them. So until the next time, take care. Don't forget, if you'd like to support the channel, you could leave me a comment, drop me a question in an email. You can buy me a coffee, which is a one-off thing, or you could even become a patron. And I think for about £3 a month, you get to have the additional video content, which I produce on a weekly basis for all of my patrons. And I answer the questions with my patrons on a more personal basis over on the Patreon channel, and the links to which you can find in the show notes below. So, until the next time, take care, stride forward with your boots with pride and passion, and I will see you again very soon.